Hello, welcome to the Skills Academy. This is where we can view 10 exciting resources for apprenticeship learning. These resources have impact, so let's analyse them and see if you can use them too.
Differentiation. Learners of various abilities were given different stage tasks leading to the same learning outcomes. Additional stretching worksheets were given to encourage the more able apprentices. Repeated tasks led slower learners to become more practiced, creating permanent learning and retention. Slower apprentices could be assisted by the quicker ones, and written instructions could be displayed in different formats, styles and steps.
Motivation and engagement were effective. Learners were excited, and by their creativity in achieving results, positive engaging feedback from peers and teachers alike was easier, as supervision could be done moving around each learner group. Maths, English and ICT are incorporated for calculations, explanations and research in additional learning. Maths tasks were checked, technical English words were rehearsed and explained, ICT encouraged for designing and creating circuit layouts.
Learners' needs were met by using coloured paper, larger print for dyslexic learners and large print for the visually impaired. Central tests, safety equipment, PPE, all demanded by the NVQ curriculum were provided for learners. Practical learning was advertised by having a picture of diversity with learners' ethnic background or gender included.
An open, inclusive atmosphere was encouraged, so everyone felt welcome to participate in accordance with curriculum and the scheme of work. Adherence to curriculum and schemes of work were in line with NVQ and BTEC Level 3 requirements. Differentiation using books and manuals. Learners of different abilities researched various authors leading to the same learning outcomes. Learners used coloured sketchings of the electronic circuits, staging each function of the circuit signals to understand them. Using a variety of books, these contained explanations, examples and mini-tests for self-testing in a variety of ways. Apprentices could learn at their own pace. Those who struggled could ask questions and be helped by peers and the instructor.
Motivation and engaging. Learners were positive at being able to cross-reference comparing and choosing their author. Engagement was evident through peer-to-peer learning, where it took place consulting the instructor to check and confirm the understanding.
Maths, English and ICT were incorporated for calculations, explanations and research and additional learning. Maths tasks were checked, technical English words were rehearsed and explained, ICT was encouraged for designing and creating circuit layouts.
Learner needs were met by using coloured paper, larger print for dyslexic learners and for the visually impaired. Words could be read to those with reading difficulties. Repeat reading and studying was made to help with learning. Diversity and equality. Learning was open to all, with books written by different authors reflecting the same diversity of the learners' ethnicity and gender. All practical adjustments were made so any physical handicapped learners could have access to this learning facility.
Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on the NVQ and BTEC Level 3 objectives. Differentiation using the internet. Learners of various abilities researched using different websites which contained a huge variety of written information, animations, videos, interactive circuits leading to the same learning outcomes. Learners chose what source on the internet they preferred. They used infographics to help them prepare their own information records. Testing was done by accessing online teaching aids and using the assessing aids provided by other educational institutions.
Motivation and engaging are effective. Learners were confident and able to search out and cross-reference information. Engagement was evident, as it was easy to match keywords quickly to the topic. Being able to take ownership, learners directed their own experience and enjoyed multiple options for online assessments like Kahoot. Maths, English and ICT were incorporated in the tasks demanded. These were needed in order to understand the electronic theory. Maths tasks were checked, technical English words were rehearsed and explained, ICT encouraged for designing and creating circuit layouts. Learner needs were met by using bigger screens, and animations played at different speeds assisted learners with kinesthetic bias. Downloading of ebooks were useful for those who wanted larger prints. Headsets were used for those who wanted little distraction or preferred audio information.
Diversity and equality. Learning was open to all, with websites available in learners' native languages. Visually impaired learners could print out information or download for later use and modification. Suitable classroom layout, access and facilities were available for disabled learners. Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on NVQ, BTEC Level 3, objectives and feedback from instructor through emails. Differentiation using ICT. Using various software packages such as PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Proteus computer-aided design, multi-simulation, use of the 3D printer and others, learners of various abilities were able to complete all of their projects. Different learners could be encouraged by the facilities to expand the screen page, use colours, relate to online video tutorials, use templates to get started, use headphones, print off pictures, manufacture items in 3 dimensions in order to learn in the way that they preferred.
Motivation and engaging was seen to be very effective. Learners were positive of being able to create their own material online and to save it for times when they were even more motivated. Using ICT meant they could constantly improve their saved work and be more reflective by comparing outcomes. Engagement was evident as it was easy for them to visualize outcomes beforehand and to be less distracted by other facilities that ICT offers. Maths, English and ICT were included in all of the assignments. These were needed in order to understand the electronic theory. Mathematics to calculate electronic events, English to describe the results. Written evidence was produced using printouts by using PowerPoint, Excel and Word packages, all required for report writing in the workplace. Learner needs were met by using bigger computer screens and, where necessary, headphones and tablets. Larger paper and coloured pens and sometimes extra specialist instructors were introduced for one-to-one assistance. Ability to work from home or other workstations was enabled. Areas for peaceful working were facilitated and background music helped to provide a calming atmosphere. Portable laptops were available for learners with mobility issues or limited access to the learning environment. Diversity and equality. Learning was open to all, with ICT available to be interpreted in learners' native languages when required. Visually impaired learners could print out information or download for later use and modification. END policy attitudes and behaviours were already agreed with apprentices beforehand. Classes were mixed up with no clans allowed to develop. Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on NVQ BTEC Level 3 objectives and feedback from the instructor.
Differentiation using PowerPoint. PowerPoint helped to focus different learners to the topic being covered. Embedded links, played videos and then returned to display key visual information. These, along with large diagrams, were more easily followed by the visually impaired. Learners with ADD were more focused. Learners who were slower to learn found PowerPoint could be repeated or sent by email for further referencing. Dyslexic learners found colours and large print most helpful. By being creative, quality PowerPoint presentations, learners were able to proudly present their creative work to others, enjoying the experience and increasing their motivation. Maths, English and ICT were incorporated with PowerPoint for these tasks. PowerPoint helped emphasise the learning of English and communication. Mathematics was embedded in both the teaching and the learning PowerPoint experience, thereby Common Core was encouraged and developed. Learner needs were met by using large screens where PowerPoint was displayed at a pace which assisted all learners. Learners could download the teaching PowerPoint and upload their own work, which gave each a feeling of control over their experience. Learners with language difficulty could record their areas of need for further help and used the use of colours, large print and printouts assisted those with visual difficulties. Diversity and equality, learning was open to all with the opportunity of using online language conversion into native languages. Screens, visual presentation were adjusted for those who needed this facility.
Words could be adjusted to the level that the learners understood, and background music or sounds made the PowerPoint more relaxing and engaging for the more easily distracted apprentices. E and D was reinforced by mixing the seating arrangements so no clans developed. Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on NVQ BTEC Level 3 and feedback from the instructor. Objectives and feedback was sent from the instructor through emails. Differentiation using videos and animations. Videos and animations were available online and DVD in VHS format. These helped in offering different learners information in a new way. Videos displayed evidence proving that the electronic theory actually matched the reality. These could be repeated, clarifying key points, and by being in colour and large size, the information assisted the visually impaired or dyslexic apprentices. Different videos on the same topic could be accessed by the different learners individually using their laptops and headphones. This means that preferences for videos giving the same information could be chosen for each type of learner. Animations were particularly helpful for those apprentices who found it difficult to understand staged outcomes of electronic circuits. These could be displayed at varied speeds and repeated when required. Motivation and engaging. Learners were positive of being able to watch videos and animations as they had music, verbal instruction and paced visual information. They chose a video or animation on a particular topic and privately or corporately could watch these at their own pace. The apprentices were enthused to be able to repeat these at a later date to reinforce their learning and even embed parts into their own presentations. Maths, English and ICT were inherently embedded in these subject videos or animations. Maths in calculations of voltage and current, English with expressions and words, ICT as many required laptops and Wi-Fi connections. Learner needs were met by using bigger screens or individual laptops. Headphones were particularly useful for those who were easily distracted by noise. Animations in colour and paced correctly were useful for those who were dyslexic or had ADD or difficulty in imagining staged events in an electronic circuit. Diversity and equality. Learning was open to all, with access to videos and animations online, even in native languages. Those unable to attend class could catch up later and repeat the videos or animation presentation. The physically impaired were able to see and have access to these materials, whilst the class dynamics displayed no group preferences or favourites. Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on NVQ BTEC Level 3 objectives and feedback from the instructor. Differentiation using written tests and quizzes. Multi-choice, exam questioning and written tests have been used to identify weakness in knowledge, and SMART action plans introduced to improve apprentice learning. These tests have been graded and created in a variety of styles to different levels of difficulty. As each test has been used to test apprentices' level of knowledge, they assist with learning by identifying gaps in knowledge, identifying deficiencies, and encourage remedial action. Learners, such as those with dyslexia, dyscalculia, are given extra time and coloured paper, also larger print or diagrams, and even allowed to give verbal answers. By using alternative tests such as Kahoot and PowerPoint quizzes, all learners find a preferred style, but all are aimed at creating a positive test towards improvement. Verbal tests have been conducted with headphones using the equivalent of a dictaphone. Motivation and engaging. Apprentices were positive and willing to be tested by a means which suited them in a timescale which they found comfortable. Because they knew that there would be a beneficial outcome, they were happy to take part as they saw the process relevant to learning and not punitive. Instructors were engaged with the apprentices as they themselves were being tested to see how far their teaching had been successful. Apprentices were able to become more confident when they realised what they did know and were able to improve on identified weak points. Maths, English and ICT. These are all part of the process since the questions identify the important technical words, ability to construct logical answers and use correct grammar. Also make mathematical calculations and use ICT for online quizzes. Learner needs were met by making the quizzes match each apprentice's ability related to previous formative assessment results. Answers could be easily made using multi-choice tests, while verbal answers were acceptable for dyslexic or people with writing difficulties. Extra time was offered for these learners, and opportunities for the instructor to read out the questions were made for the disadvantaged. Diversity and equality. Learning was open to all, with questions available for translation if necessary. Questions with people mentioned in them were given a variety of names to reflect diversity as well as various images. Questions were arranged with no bias towards either male or female. Visually impaired learners could have larger print and in colour. Portable laptops were available for learners with mobility issues or limited access to the learning environment. Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on NVQ BTEC Level 3 objectives and discussion or feedback from the instructor.
Differentiation using peer-to-peer learning. Using peer-to-peer learning enabled learners to be paired in groups to give mutual support for discussion and evaluation of topics in electronics. In an atmosphere of mutual respect, apprentices could help each other and confirm ideas and rationalise their own understanding. Apprentices then changed groups and found others who related to them in a better or different way. The instructor was on hand to clarify and orchestrate proceedings and identify those who were more gifted in helping the less able. Motivation and engaging. Apprentices were positive of being able to research and express their ideas, views and explanations to one another. Difficulties in learning and misunderstandings could be expressed, identified and clarified. Help was at hand as some may have the key to explaining to their peers and gain credit for their compassion. This was found to be highly engaging. Maths, English and ICT were all incorporated into the task demanded. Maths tasks were checked, technical English words were rehearsed and explained, ICT encouraged for designing and creating circuit layouts, peer-to-peer learning and marking correction was evident. Learning needs were met by creating an atmosphere of mutual respect, compassion and direction prior to commencement. Learners who displayed dyslexia, ADD or ADHD were matched to the more understanding, compassionate who had patience to help them. Extra resource aids were made available for all to use, and they could also choose what was appropriate to themselves. Diversity and equality.
Learning was open to all with a tolerant group, already primed in their understanding of company rules on inclusion, diversity and equality. Individual and groups were mixed according to race, gender, etc. So no one perceived they were excluded, included and encouraging the shy. Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on the BTEC Level 3, NVQ Level 3 objectives and feedback from and to the instructor.
Differentiation using lectures. Lecturing to the differential group of apprentices required chameleon verbal and body language demonstration. With backup aids such as extra handouts tailored to learners' needs, lecturing had to match learner preferences. Constant feedback was required to check apprentice understanding in order to adjust delivery. Learners with particular needs were put within sight so that the extra checking and help could be at hand for them, whilst presentation material also had to be made with these apprentices in mind. Motivation and engaging. Learners were positive, but their motivation and engagement was dependent upon the enthusiasm and interaction with the instructor. Handing out interesting items as well as lecturing helped interaction. Voice inflection and body language, movement and presence all helped with motivation and engagement, the burden being heavily placed on the instructor. Maths, English and ICT were all incorporated in the electronics lecture. Maths questions were included, English embedded in the subject material and assessment. ICT was mentioned in lecture notes as necessary to complete the assignments. Learner needs were met by using large projector and handouts to assist those with visual learning needs. The classroom was selected to give wheelchair access and visual contact with screen and instructor from all angles of the classroom. Where appropriate, physical electronics were given to assist in understanding the theory for the more kinesthetic practical learners. Personal one-to-one teaching was conducted for those with difficulties, while tasks were set for the whole class. Diversity and equality. Learning was open to all, with apprentices all primed to respect and welcome all learners regardless of difference, and in line with the company E&D inclusion policies. Differences were noticed with the layout of the classroom, and the seating plan was arranged to mix the apprentices so no identifiable grouping was created. Language was adjusted so all could understand what was being said. Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on NVQ BTEC Level 3 objectives and feedback to the form instructor.
Differentiation using workshops or exhibitions. Workshops offer a drop-in centre to tackle apprentices' individual learning requirements and sort out omissions in their learning process. Learner-led. These have proved to be invaluable. The students can come with their own requirements and negotiate with the instructor, finding solutions and soon find out that they are successful. Exhibitions are excellent introduction aids to new technologies to spark interest using different presentations that appeal to the different apprentice learners. Motivation and engaging. Apprentices enjoy having the opportunities to drive their own progress and to negotiate their own learning experiences. By self-analysing and seeking solutions in a workshop, they become self-actualising and engaging. Exhibitions give the opportunities for apprentices to ask their own searching and inquisitive questions, motivated by their own interest and curiosity of electronic technology. Maths, English and ICT are all embedded in electronic engineering, which are emphasised in workshops by making available many learning aids. Exhibitions emphasise and introduce English, demonstrate the need for maths, and invariably all technology illustrates the use of ICT. Learner needs were met by using all teaching and learning aids, which were being negotiated with the learner. Workshops normally were created leading up to tests as assessment gateways, so a sense of urgency and learner needs was a priority. Exhibitions were normally so people needs and facilities were considered in presenting these products, and so this often appealed to the various apprentice learners. Diversity and equality. Learning was open to all, with facilities, times and resources made available to all apprentices. Individual instructors in workshops displayed an open, courteous and respectful engagement. Exhibitions likewise respected the diversity of participants, and they welcomed all to explore the electronics technology and introduced appropriately to interested learners all persuasion, background and orientation. Curriculum and individual needs were met by focusing on the NVQ BTEC Level 3 objectives and the feedback with the instructor.